Welcome to the next episode of Listen to Your Eyes, a podcast brought to you by Amgen, tailored for individuals with thyroid conditions facing eye-related challenges. Throughout this series, we delve deeper into thyroid eye disease, or TED, and hear from patients and others who discovered that their eye symptoms were actually TED, as well as caregivers and physicians working with thyroid eye disease. My name is Daniel Martinez, and I'm part of Amgen's patient advocacy team within the Rare Disease Business Unit, collaborating closely with TED patients. My role involves fostering patient-centered education and resources, ensuring they make informed decisions that will result in better healthcare and quality of life. Today, we're broadcasting live from the TED Patient Council meeting, accompanied by actual TED patients, Gail, Debbie, and Jannette. In today's episode, we'll be asking the group some questions about their TED journeys, care team, and the TED Council, and the role the patient advocacy plays for broader communities. For background, for our listeners, our TED Council is made up of 20 patients and caregivers who meets regularly to offer invaluable insights into living with TED and assess the effectiveness of our programs and business. So let's get started. Debbie, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your TED journey?
Yeah, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease in 1999, a very severe case, and it was approximately 2-3 months after that I began Graves' eye disease. I had one eye protrusion, the other did not protrude. And it wasn't until 5 years ago that I had my first eye surgery to fix my eyelids from all the protrusion. And then in February, I just had another surgery to repair the eyelid.
Jannette and Gail, can you both remind our listeners about your journey as well?
Oh, yeah. Long, scary journey. And you talk about the protrusion of the eyes, and I had the same reaction to what was going on. And actually, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was allergies. And so the morning when I woke up and looked like someone sucker punched me, like, what's going on? But I just did not know what it was. And to me, it was just allergies and the stress of not knowing what's going on. And your eyes, it's leaking water every day. And I walk around with a frozen water bottle, just to keep it, just to cool it down a little bit, which really it wasn't doing anything for it. The doctors at first didn't know what it was. He said my tear ducts was closed. And the dryness of the eye has maybe the time of the year. They find a lot of different stuff that they were saying while I was suffering in silence. How about you?
My journey started in 2018. Very similar to you, Jannette. My eyes were tearing terribly, and I went to 5 different doctors before I was diagnosed with Graves' and thyroid eye disease on the same appointment. I also went to an allergist too before I went to the last doctor, and I didn't have any allergies, so I knew that wasn't my situation. But I learned a month later of what was, that I had Graves' and thyroid eye disease. And so that was the beginning of the journey. But the only symptom I had at that point was just the tearing. I didn't have any other visible symptoms until the following February. And that really was the beginning of my journey.
Oh, so it was thyroid eye disease, or was it TED at that time for the doctor?
Yes.
Oh, they told me that it was my thyroid attacking the eyes, but I don't believe they didn't give it a name. They just told me that thyroid was attacking the eyes. So you're probably lucky that they knew what was going on.
Well, the 5th doctor knew, but the other ones didn't know. So it was the journey to get there.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Debbie, when you were going through your journey and your diagnosis journey, who was a part of your care team?
I had my general practitioner who referred me over to the endocrinologist, as he said, this is just out of my league. And the endocrinologist just kept saying, you may have thyroid eye disease. And I believe it was probably 2 to 3 years of going through this on and off of prednisone and not being diagnosed. I sought my own doctor, and I went to an ophthalmologist, and I went to a neuro-ophthalmologist, and I just kept continuing my journey until I felt happy with my results, because I just felt like I was not getting any answers. But I think because there was no answers to be had at the time.
Good for you for self-advocating.
Right.
I just kept hire a doctor, fire a doctor.
Exactly.
So I really went over 15 years of trying to find my way.
True.
My eye doctor, I went back to my ophthalmologist for my regular yearly exam, and my eye doctor, he had Graves' disease. He says, I just want you to know I have Graves' disease as well. And I know you've been having a hard time.
Yeah.
And he made me a pair of glasses. He says this was the very first pair of glasses that I put in my case when I started my business. They were solid gold frames, and they looked like the 60s, like you were going to a concert. And he made them into, had them all tinted in from browns all the way down to oranges to whatever met my eyes in the light.
Really?
And then he says, here, I made these for you.
Oh,
And he gave them to me, never charged me for them. And he says, I just want to help you because you're so good to me,
Did you have double? Sorry.
I had a lot of double vision.
From the very beginning?
Within the first year, the double vision started, and then it just got progressively worse. And then it would get bad, and then it would settle down a little bit, and it wouldn't be so bad. But I think a lot of that went to however much stress was in my life at the time.
When I didn't have, the only symptoms I had was the tearing. I didn't sleep well because my eyes teared all the time. So my face was wet all the time when I was sleeping, and the sheets would get wet. Excuse me. But once my symptoms started in February, then I did have double vision, and I would prop myself up, and for a period. Yeah, I was able to sleep, but my husband would tape my eyes, and I wear an eye mask now. I even still wear an eye mask now to bed. I feel like I sleep deeper, but I really have no problem sleeping all night now.
Gail, and all three of you are here for our TED Council meeting that we had over the last couple of days. Just for our audience, Gail, can you tell us a little bit about the TED Council and your experience with it and why you got involved?
I have been on TED Council for 2 years now, and I dragged my feet in the beginning to join. But my heart won over and told me it was what I needed to do for, number one, for my own healing, but to educate others and, to be around like people, but to learn how I could better serve others that maybe walk in the journey that we have walked. And right now, we spent the day yesterday reviewing some materials for physicians, offering input on what was already that was presented to us based on our last meeting. And so it was a great opportunity to learn from others and review the information that we were all a part of.
Right.
And Jannette, what other there's some activities that really stood out to you yesterday in some of the presentations that you felt like you made an impact on?
Well, yesterday, looking at how far we've come and how many people now that is getting the help and the information that we all need, and things that we put together that I have seen, even not only yesterday, but in doctors' offices, that I know I'm part of. And I'm so happy that I joined, because with this council, there is a time when I needed a call from someone, and I have people from the council would check in on me. And yesterday, when I see that the brochure that comes to life from our experiences and from our suggestions and stuff like that, we know we're not only here blabbing, but we're really, the work is being done, so that is really great. And I'm happy to be a part of you guys. I'm happy to be a part.
I am quite happy myself.
Yes.
When I was diagnosed with Graves' disease and thyroid eye disease, there was nothing available. So you were just always trying to find inner peace. How am I going to get through today to get to tomorrow? How am I going to function every day so I don't lose my job?
Right.
And how am I going to raise my kids in a stable world? Because I can't function.
Yeah. Who understands what you're going
if
through?
you can't deal with yourself, how is someone supposed to be able to deal with you?
Awesome.
And it was a constant challenge. And I just did my falls. I get up, I go again, and just keep going. And since I've become a member of this council, it's been 1 year, and it just lets me know that how much more I want to be able to do to help someone else so that they don't have to go through that loneliness of trying to navigate your way of the unknowns.
Right. And there's someone out there you can call and who understand what you're going through.
Exactly.
Who knows exactly what the highs feel like. When I said, my highs feel like someone grab a bunch of sand and toss at me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. As family members, you can tell. Friends, you can tell. But they don't get it.
They don't understand it. I was looked at as, and I, would work 70 hours a week, 60 hours a week, all the time. And then I would, in the end here, she's being lazy. And this is from family, and they should be supportive of you, or at least, I did my best to try to educate them so maybe they would understand. I'm on a ride that I don't want to be on. I want to get off.
Right. So, yeah, I feel very fortunate in that respect. My husband and family were very supportive. And when I was down, they knew it, especially my husband, because he was the only one I was living with at the time. But they see it.
Yeah.
But since I've been married, I was married 2 years ago, and I have married the best man that is so supportive.
I love that.
He's, gotten right into last year, came to the meetings with us here with the council, and he can't wait to go to the next one to be supportive. He does whatever it takes.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah, it's good to know you have people around that actually hears what you're saying and, understand. And for me, I had friends at the time that I could call and I could whine and would listen. And I also have friends that I would refuse to take a call from because they didn't get it. Especially when I was saying, she sent me a text and I couldn't read it,
Yes.
And I said, I can't read it. Yes, you can. I can't read it. I can't see it to read it. Yes, you can. And I don't know what was going through her mind at the time, but I had to make the conscious decision to say, I just remember I have something to do. Can I call you back? I just want to get in and just tell my story and just help everybody who I can help.
Yes.
And I can let others know, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm struggling with. You're not alone. Here I am going through this. Is there anybody out there who really going through this problem and not knowing what it is? So I came on board and I like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? I just want to help.
And Gail, you've been a part of this council, and it's unfortunately coming to a time where you're going to be rolling off.
Yes.
And what, as a departing member, what can you talk about, like the role advocacy plays not only with the TED Council, but for the broader community?
I learned a lot about myself over the last few years, going through the journey, and then having this council be a part of that. It's so empowering to be able to share your story and share with people you don't know. Excuse me, I've stopped and have talked to people that I thought, one person in particular, that by looking at her, I suspected she had thyroid eye disease, and it was a risk to talk with her. So I did, and I asked her if she had thyroid eye disease, and she said yes. And I did not know this person, but she, was very receptive to me, and I reached out and I've just followed up with her a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, just to see how she's doing on her journey. If there's any information that I could help her with, I shared my doctors with her, and I've shared resources with her. So it's just an empowering ending, I guess I should say that. And to meet the, strong people like the ladies here at the table with me, and everyone else in the group, it's just really an amazing opportunity.
And Jannette and Debbie, in addition to the council, where else do you find support as a TED patient? Are there other advocacy groups that you're a part of?
I know of no other advocacy council groups, anything.
The Graves disease.
Yes, I've had a lot of support through them. I haven't used it as much because my eyes had settled down, and I was getting a so-called normalcy for myself at that point for quite a while,
Right.
until they decided to wake up and start again.
So, and Facebook, Listen to Your Eyes, I would go there. And if I'm trying to find some sort of information, I would scan the entire thing and say, okay, what is out there that I can see? What is out there that I need to know, that I need to learn more about?
And additionally, TED Community is a great resource. It has the Prevent Blindness. It has a link there, and then the art therapy. And there's so much information there that it really is kept updated pretty well, and just a great resources for other people to reach out to.
And Gail, you had mentioned where else can someone learn more about TED?
One of the things that I mentioned, I believe, was tedcommunity.org, and all of the participants that make TED Community have all had thyroid eye disease. So they're a great group of people.
Just visit
tedcommunity.org.
Okay. So here we have it. We have something out there that we all can go back and visit and get a refresh. And anybody out there who is looking for help,
Absolutely.
they can go. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thanks, Gail. Thanks, Jannette. And thanks, Debbie. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us.
And we want to thank everybody else out there for listening today to our episode of Listen to Your Eyes. And until next time, listen to your eyes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For more information about thyroid eye disease, visit focusonted.com and join the Listen to Your Eyes Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube communities.